What if I told you that one of America's most notorious serial killers was caught because he trusted Microsoft Word? A man who terrorized Kansas for 30 years, outsmarted police for decades, and was finally exposed by a single floppy disk. This is the story of BTK and the catastrophic mistake that ended his reign of terror. But before we dive in, if you're into true crime stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Let's get into it. Between 1974 and 1991, the city of Wichita, Kansas, lived in absolute fear. A killer was on the loose, one who called himself BTK, which stood for Bind, Torture, Kill. He didn't just murder his victims, he taunted the police and media with letters describing his crimes in disturbing detail. Then in 1991, he suddenly went silent. For 13 years, nothing. People began to wonder, was BTK dead? Had he moved away? Or was he still out there, watching and waiting? The truth was far more chilling than anyone could imagine. Dennis Rader's first murder happened on January 15, 1974. He broke into the Otero family home and killed Joseph, Julie, and two of their children, 11-year-old Josie and 9-year-old Joseph Jr. It was brutal, methodical, and completely cold-blooded. Rader later admitted he'd been watching the family and fantasizing about killing them for weeks. But he didn't stop there. Over the next 17 years, BTK claimed 10 known victims. He strangled them, often in their own homes, and took souvenirs, photographs, driver's licenses, underwear. These weren't crimes of passion or desperation. They were calculated, planned, and executed by someone who enjoyed every moment. What made BTK even more terrifying was his need for attention. He sent letters to newspapers and TV stations bragging about his kills. He gave himself the name BTK. He wanted the world to know what he'd done, but he also wanted to remain a ghost. And for decades, he succeeded. Here's where it gets truly disturbing. While BTK was terrorizing Wichita, Dennis Rader was living what appeared to be a completely normal life. He was married with 2 children. He worked as a compliance officer, ironically, measuring people's lawns and checking for code violations. He was a church council president, a Boy Scout leader, and a respected member of his community. No one suspected him, not his wife, not his kids, not his neighbors. Dennis Rader was a master of compartmentalization. By day, he was the friendly guy next door. By night, he was a calculating predator. But after his last known murder in 1991, BTK went dormant. Some experts believe he stopped killing because he was satisfied. Others think the risk became too high. Whatever the reason, the case went cold until 2004. In March 2004, the Wichita Eagle newspaper received a letter. Inside was a photocopy of a victim's driver's license and photos from a crime scene that had never been released to the public. BTK was back, and he was angry that people had forgotten about him. Over the next year, he sent multiple communications, packages hidden in cereal boxes, puzzles, dolls bound and posed like his victims. He was playing a dangerous game with police, and he seemed to be enjoying it. But BTK had a question. In one of his letters, he asked police, "Can I communicate with you on a floppy disk without it being traced back to me?" The police, in a stroke of genius, replied in a newspaper ad, "Rex, it will be okay." They lied. In February 2005, BTK sent a purple floppy disk to a local TV station. On it was a document, nothing incriminating at first glance. But when investigators examined the disk's metadata, they found something BTK had overlooked, deleted. Files embedded in the document's properties were 2 crucial pieces of information: the name Dennis and a link to Christ Lutheran Church in Wichita. A quick search revealed that Dennis Rader was the church council president. Police conducted surveillance. They obtained a DNA sample from Rader's daughter's medical records. It was a match to DNA found at crime scenes. On February 25, 2005, police pulled over a white Jeep Cherokee in Wichita. Inside was Dennis Rader. When they arrested him, he simply asked, "How'd you catch me?" When told it was the floppy disk, Rader looked genuinely betrayed and said, "You told me it would be okay." Dennis Rader is currently serving 10 consecutive life sentences with no possibility of parole. He'll die in prison, but what's truly haunting is how ordinary he seemed. He fooled everyone for 30 years, his family, his community, the police. BTK's downfall wasn't brilliant detective work alone. It was his own ego, his need to be remembered, to be recognized, to communicate with the world. That narcissism, combined with one technological mistake, finally brought him down. If you found this case as fascinating and disturbing as I did, make sure to like this video. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment below telling me which serial killer case you want me to cover next. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you catch every upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.